Hi, I'm Tina Cherry, and today we'll be creating a self-portrait of me through the looking glass. It's inspired by Laquita Thompson. This is her picture, and it's called Through the Dog Trot, Self-Portrait in a Cotton Field. So we'll be doing two different kinds of art techniques. We'll be creating a self-portrait, and we'll also be creating a collage. A self-portrait is a drawing of yourself, and a collage is stacked paper or paper that overlays itself. You can use scrapbook paper, you can use drawing paper, you can use anything. You can use found objects in your portrait, it doesn't matter. But we're going to follow through and kind of do it like Miss Thompson did when she created this piece. So for our purposes, we have drawing paper, multiple sheets. I have a face template. I have some magazine pieces that have been cut into smaller pieces. I have some scrapbook paper. I have markers. I have colored pencils, a pencil, an eraser, a ruler, and a Sharpie. So we're going to start with a self-portrait first. When you get your face template, you're going to fold it in the middle of the face. So I'm going to fold it down, and then I'm going to fold it the opposite direction so it makes 4 squares on my paper. The lines are going to become my guidelines for where I place things. The top of the head, the first line below the top of the head, that's where we're going to put our eyes. So I'm going to sketch my cross lines very, very lightly. I want to do a feather mark. A feather mark is a mark that's easily erased. The top line is going to be the placement of my eyes. I'm going to quickly sketch a couple of eyes. So I'm going to draw the bridge of the nose, which is the part between the eyes, and then I'm going to draw the bottom of the nose. Okay, halfway between the tip of the nose and the chin, that's going to be the middle of my mouth. The top lip at the top, and then a bottom lip. With the eyes, I also need to remember eyebrows, otherwise it looks really strange. Okay, so that's my practice face, getting where the features of the face go. On a separate sheet of paper, I'm going to sketch a face shape, and in your plans you have different face shapes and you have some different examples. You also have a template that shows you where the features go. So I'm going to very lightly, again using a feather mark, sketch out the shape of a face. And I want to be able to erase these lines, so I'm not doing a real heavy mark. I'm doing a very light feather mark that's easily erased. I'm going to look at my shape. I'm going to eyeball it, draw a line down the center, and then draw a line going across. And then I need to remember my features. I need eyes, I need eyebrows, I need a nose, I need a mouth. I have hair that you can see my ears. If you're going to see your ears with your hair, then you need to add your ears as well. So I'm going to add the eyes in. I'm going to create my nose. The bottoms of the ears should be close to the end of the nose. Then I'm going to outline my facial features with my Sharpies. Then I'm going to lightly sketch, even with the Sharpie, the shape of the face. I'm going to add the side of my nose, the shape of my nose. When you do a picture of a person, you need to leave a glimmer spot. That's the shiny spot you see in the eye. Just makes it look a little more realistic. Lips. Now, the face that I've drawn has a very oval face. I don't have a very oval face, but that's okay. It's an art face. I have a more rounded face, but that's okay. And I have lots of funky hair, so I'm going to add my lots of funky hair. I'm going to take my eraser and I'm going to erase my feather marks. And at this point, I can add anything that I want with the Sharpie, or if I want to draw it, like if I were a man and had a mustache, I might want to draw that with my pencil first and then add it with my Sharpie. I'm going to add a little bit more. Okay. So there's my portrait. On another sheet of paper, I want to frame this out. In the original, it looks like she's looking through a window or a dog trot. A dog trot was a hallway down the middle of an old southern homes where the dogs would run up and down the hall, and then they had doors off the sides. So because it looks framed out in the original, we're going to frame ours out as well. So I'm going to put my self-portrait to the side, and I'm going to have 2 different sheets of paper. I need 2 sheets the same size because I have to cut the vertical lines and I have to cut the horizontal lines. If I cut from the same sheet, it's not going to measure out correctly. So I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to line it up with the edge, and I'm going to make me 2 lines. That's going to be my vertical framing. Now, if I want to use a separate color of paper to make it stand out a little bit more, I can. I'm going to cut these 2 strips. If you have the decorative scissors, if you don't want it to be a straight line, you can use the decorative scissors. Like I said, you can use a different color of paper to really make it stand out if you want to. You can add decorations to it. It's your art piece, so it's whatever you want it to be. One thing when cutting paper that you need to remember is you always want to turn your paper, not your scissors. Scissors should pretty much go forward, and that gives you a nice smooth line, and turn your paper instead of your scissors. So here are my 2 long strips. I'm going to get another sheet of paper that's the same size, and I'm going to do my horizontal strips. Again, laying the ruler up beside the edge of the paper. Just drawing along that edge. I'm going to do 2 strips again. It's going to give me my frame. So now I have my vertical strips and my horizontal strips. For our purposes, for you to be able to see them, I'm just going to lightly color along the inside edge because my paper's the same color, and I want you to be able to see that frame. Then I still have my 4 pieces in the frame. I'm going to take another sheet of heavy paper, put my tools up, And I'm gonna lay my frame out, and with the darker line on it, you can see where it lays. I'm gonna glue that down with some Elmer's glue. You need mouse glue, not elephant glue. Mouse glue is very light glue, like you were gluing a mouse together. Elephant glue is very heavy glue, like you were gluing an elephant together. So we need mouse glue. We don't need gobs and gobs of glue. You can do that on both sides. And across the top and the bottom. And I'm gluing my strip, not gluing my background, because I might end up with glue where I don't want it. So I'm gluing the strips instead of the background. Now you can see that I have a frame. My next step is to add pieces that represent me. I love my dogs, I love my family, I love some good chocolate, I love the beach, I love to read. So I have some paper that has different things that represent me. I have a piece of scrapbook paper that looks like it's got reading on it. I love to travel, so I have a bit of a map. I love the museum, so I have something that represents the museum. I have some animal print that represents my love of animals. So anything that represents you that you want to add into your piece, this is where you're going to add it. Your pieces are going to overlap because, again, it's a collage. So when the pieces lay over each other, that's going to create that collage effect. So I'm going to cut my pieces that I want. Again, I'm going to glue my piece, not my canvas. It keeps me from getting glue where I don't want it. I'm going to frame it out. I'm going to add it inside my frame that I've created. I'm going to cut and add another piece that represents something I like. And they don't have to be lined up. If you want them diagonal, upside down, it doesn't matter. It's your art piece, so you decide how you want the pieces to look. Much on that one. If you have magazines that have pictures of things you like, you can ask your parents if you can use those magazine pictures. You can also, if you have photographs that your parents will allow you to use, or if they'll print you some on the computer, you can do that as well. And it's okay if your collage pieces overlap your frame. They don't have to fit exactly in that frame. It just tidies up the edge real well. I'm adding my background pieces. Now that I have my background, if I want to, I can add a frame so it looks like you're looking through a window, or I can leave it like it is, like Miss Thompson's. I'm going to go back to my portrait. I'm going to cut it out very carefully. Again, when you cut, you need to turn your paper, not your scissors. So as I cut, you'll notice my left hand is turning the paper as I cut with my right hand. That gives me a much nicer line when I cut. I have better control of my scissors. So I'm going to add some glue to my self-portrait. Try to remember to put your glue lid on the glue stick. It will keep it lasting a lot longer. Now at this point, I can add other things in. I can add pictures. I can draw my own pieces. For today's purposes, I'm going to draw my own pieces. I love art, so I'm going to create a paint palette with the piece of paper that I had the portrait on. I'm just going to use that extra paper so I'm not wasting it. I'm going to draw a paint palette like a painter would use. It's a thumb hole, and then we're going to add some color with our paint splotches. Again, I did a feather mark. That way if I need to erase, I can. I'm going to outline with a Sharpie. I like the look of an outline. I'm going to use my colored pencils to add a dash of color to this. I'm going to add my paint with another colored pencil. So if somebody doesn't know what it is, it helps them a little bit to figure out what it is. I'm going to erase any line I don't want. When I'm happy with it, I'm ready to cut. And glue and add. And I can add as many things as I want, but I think for today's purposes, I'll be finished.